What's up, guys? This is Webby, and this is the first presidential debate review. This was exactly what we expected. This was them at first kind of laying out what they were going to do, and I'm glad they at first laid out what they were going to do, because at first it started off with the economy, and then it kind of spiraled downhill from there. Because once they started talking about NATO, and once they got into talking about the energy and NAFTA, it just spiraled downhill, because it went from that to there's 33,000 emails, the Trump's tax returns, and all different types of stuff. So I'm glad that at first they talked about the economy, because I think that's one of the main things that's on America's mind. That, and of course ISIS. I know that's the two things that I'm paying the most close attention to in this election, because I know that those two things are a big challenge that America's facing right now, and the world's facing right now, the economy, and some of the other crises, bombs and that kind of threats that we've had here recently. So how do Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump plan to put the economy back on track? Well, Hillary Clinton plans on raising the minimum wage. She plans on making the wages even for both women and men and all races. Donald Trump, of course, we all know, and he's going to keep jobs here in America. He's going to take a 35% tax down to a 15% tax. And if the jobs leave, he even said that, once they try to bring the product in, he's going to tax them because they left their company away from the United States and moved them outside of the United States. So and he used Carrier, I think, as the example. So that's how they mainly said they were going to grow the economy. So they went from that to talking about energy policy, and this is at one point how it started to spiral downhill, because they went from energy policy to NAFTA at the same time, and talking about how we're $20 trillion in debt. And Donald Trump said that we are $20 trillion in debt, and why is Hillary Clinton waiting this long to finally get us out of debt? Why are we waiting 30 years to get us out of debt? She kind of chuckles and says, well, I haven't quite been doing this 30 years, but, I have done some plans that have, have helped. Donald Trump says, it'd be one thing that if, we're $20 trillion in debt and our roads were great and all different types of stuff, and schools were great, and meaning the schools, I mean, how the buildings and that, and everything was shaped and all that stuff. The roads were all paved correctly, and people was in work, and factories were all great and everything like that, he said. But the roads, they're all bumpy and that kind of stuff he was talking about. And we're $20 trillion in debt. So, and he also threw NAFTA at Hillary. Of course, she said that she approved some of the stuff and she didn't approve some of the stuff. So they started throwing dirt at each other. And she also said that in the 90s, some jobs was being raised and trade was being raised and had some strong growth. Trump, was calling for some major expand with how the taxes was going to go, with the wealthy, which, the wealthy, I kind of understand how he was going with that because some of the wealthy do own the businesses, and with the tax cut, I guess, they would be able to expand their companies and keep more people in work that they have employed. Um, so I would understand that. As far as small businesses, if it doesn't hurt them either, that would help them too. You know, Donald Trump. If you, I have to say that if you raise the taxes on all the businesses, it's going to put businesses out of business and it's going to put people out of work. So I understand that, and that'll suck. So you don't want to completely just raise taxes on all the wealthy companies. I understand they pay their fair share and they should, but I understand where Trump's coming from on that. Of course, Hillary Clinton says that she's going to, or that Trump has this loophole for his family, and he doesn't have an idea what in the world she's talking about with that. And from there, the games began with tax returns and 33,000 emails. This went on for a while. And then, how do we heal the race divided? Then we get two painted pictures of how the inner cities are. Donald Trump kind of painted it, of how the violence part is. Hillary kind of painted it, kind of the how I kind of took it of how the nice part is, what we should be praising. Honestly, what I personally think about the inner cities, and really what I think about what we should be considering, not just the inner cities, what they should consider about everywhere, and they should say this about everywhere. They shouldn't have just put it just about inner cities, because it's not just the inner cities that they should worry about when it regards to this. It's everybody. It's mixed. Because everybody has it. Everybody has those problems. I realize inner cities might have those problems more than small towns. Because smaller towns might not have those problems as much. But all towns have their problems, right? So you should be concerned with all everybody, not just inner cities. That's just kind of how I look at that. So I just think that it's kind of a mixed, and people, you shouldn't just paint it one way. I understand why they did though. So that's kind of what I think about that. And of course they started talking about NATO and what they think of NATO. Hillary kind of painted NATO as, kind of great, and about how they're our allies, which we all know, and the only time they've kind of went outside of what they're supposed to do is when they went and helped us fight with that war or whatever. And then Trump telling us we're supposed to pay equally. And so all that, and it spiraled out of control some more. And Trump saying why he is fit to be president of the United States. Hillary saying why she's fit to be president of the United States. And they both kind of said why Trump's not fit, and Hillary said why Trump's not fit, and Trump said why Hillary is not fit. And they kind of gave kind of both reason. And Trump said that Hillary's not fit because she doesn't have the stamina, and Trump's not fit because the temperament. And that was the presidential debate. That was the first presidential debate. It spiraled out of control. I feel kind of bad for the moderator because he was just kind of walked over. You know, he really didn't get to moderate it a whole lot. The next one is next month. I do believe it is the 9th. Can't wait to watch that one. I'll be here giving you a review on that one. So don't forget to tune in for that. Until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.